Parents' wishes crushed as the school bus seat belt program they fought for has fallen apart.
We were to see that no other parent has to go through that, wondering whether their kids would survive an accident or not, simply because they weren't belted in.
KXAN discovering much of the money meant to keep kids safe on the road instead went to other programs. And some school districts missed out because of technicalities. Our investigation has prompted the lawmaker behind the program to call on state officials to fix the problem, even refund the school bus seat belt initiative next session. And tonight, our political reporter, Josh Hinkle, has
The
more.
Austin Independent School District was one of the lucky few. It has a fleet of around 500 buses, and now thanks to state funding, 21 of them have these lap shoulder belts. But not every district that applied got the funding. We found after searching for 3 months through thousands of records, some of them just didn't submit their applications correctly. The state never told them, so they never reapplied for the money, missing out on something that was meant to keep kids alive during an accident. 6 years have passed since Brad Brown sat in the hospital waiting for news about his daughter.
I waited for Ashley there, wanting to find her in whatever shape she was in. I next saw Ashley at the funeral home.
Hours before, a bus carrying a Beaumont High School girls soccer team skidded off a rainy highway and rolled over, killing Ashley and another girl, Alicia Benura.
My daughter left her seat, and she was killed on impact.
Steve Foreman's daughter, Allison, was one of those severely injured.
She was pinned under the bus. Her left arm was crushed.
Out of the tragedy, these parents began pushing a law to get lap shoulder belts on new school buses in Texas, something they say could have prevented their loss. But state budget cuts soon slashed the fund from $10 million to $2.5 million.
The program was established to fail. Why should we be surprised that it's failed?
12 school districts applied for the money, but the Texas Education Agency, which administers the fund, says some withdrew and some didn't submit complete paperwork. As a result, only 4 districts, including the Austin Independent School District, received money. In the end, around $2 million remained, swept into other programs TEA deemed priorities, like fine arts, early childhood, and English language proficiency.
I think that's criminal, and I think that's a misappropriation of taxpayer funds.
It's legal, but the author of Ashley and Alicia's bill is now demanding TEA reconsider the funding after finding out that at least 2 of the districts that didn't receive money eventually ended up buying buses without belts.
I would like to see those school districts retrofit those buses and then have the commissioner ensure that they will get reimbursed as soon as there's money in the fund.
If any one of those kids gets hurt, then I think it's the TEA's fault.
The numbers suggest seatbelts on school buses work. TEA itself says districts reported more than 2,300 accidents statewide last year alone. Students injured not wearing seatbelts, 435. Compared to those strapped in, far fewer with just 20. Foreman and Brown say one child at risk is one too many. Both plan to lobby the legislature next session to make sure no parent has to experience their pain.
No girl walked away from the accident unscarred. Ashley didn't come home that day.
TEA declined an on-camera interview, but told me the money it reallocated from the seatbelt program to other priorities was used to benefit students and schools in areas of identified need. But when it comes to needing seatbelts, it's something that some districts just can't afford on their own. A new school bus alone costs anywhere between $60,000 and $70,000. Add seatbelts to that mix, it's an extra $6,500. A hard sell in these tough economic times for schools. Check out this story on the homepage at KXAN.com. We'll tell you the success that AISD has seen since the state gave it around $100,000 for seatbelts. It's something I can tell you parents certainly appreciate along these routes. In Austin, Josh Hinkle, KXAN News.
And as Josh mentioned, this is something we started looking into 3 months ago. He detailed the process of the investigation in his political blog, also on KXAN.com. Well, here in Central Texas, we've had our share of bus accidents without seatbelts this school year in Travis County alone. 2 accidents in Del Valle with 16 students suffering minor injuries, and 2 accidents in Manor with 9 minor injuries.